What's up everyone, my name's Kane and welcome to Kane Tuts. This is the first video on the channel and today's tutorial is going to be on Photoshop and it's for beginners. So if you know what you're doing on Photoshop, then I don't think you should really be watching this because you might think I'm a bit of a noob. But recently I've started getting into Photoshop and Sony Vegas and editing a lot. Photos, videos, anything that I can get my hands on, I just love to edit. I'm not sure why my mouse is flickering right about now, but yeah. I've made my own background for my computer. I think it's pretty nice and I'm going to be showing you how to make your own background. So first of all, you want to do is go to your web browser and go to Google, and what you want to type in is screen resolution or resolution, like that, and it will say what is my resolution. It should be the second link down. If it's not, then just type in what is my screen resolution, and there we go. Your screen resolution is 1366 by 768, but yours will not be the same as mine, or I'm pretty sure it won't be the same as mine. Just do what I did there and yours will come up. Depending on what computer you have and screen size, they vary. They literally, this is a random one, this is quite random, so I'm not sure what yours will be. It's not going to be the same as mine. Alright, so now that was 1366 by 768. I've got to remember that. So let's go into Photoshop, and I've made my own one here, and as you can see, that's my background. So we're gonna go new or Control N. It's gonna lag because I'm recording and I've got low RAM on my computer, so you'll have to bear with me. Right, anyway, we're making a new one, so we're gonna go. This is a bit wrong. So it's, what was it, 1366 by 768. And remember guys, it's in pixels, so if that's not pixels, then you're gonna have to change it to pixels. It's easier to work with, I think, than percent or anything else. So I'm gonna wait for this to load, and there we go, is our new folder. I've got rid of some of my toolbars down here, but yours should be scattered up the side. Right, the first thing you're gonna want to do is select the layers and double click the background layer and turn it into layer 0. And I think on this I'm just going to go for a paint bucket, not a gradient. I'm just going to go for an all black background. And then what I'm going to want to do, why is my internet thing coming up? I can't, oh, 1 second, move that up there. Right, yeah, I'm going to make a new layer. Right, yeah, I've made a new layer, and now I'm going to go to text, and there are loads and loads of different fonts. There are cool fonts, there are wacky fonts, there's so many fonts you can have, and I'm going to go with a Transformers font that I downloaded from dafont.com. The link will be in the description. And I'm going to type in my name. My name is Kane, and nothing's come up because it's in black. So what I'm going to want to do is double click that and highlight it and make it come up in white. Okay, so now we've got a plain text and it's not looking all that good really. So there's two ways you can do this to make your text look better. There are one over here. No, I haven't got the toolbar, but you should have a little toolbar which has got an A on it. But if you haven't got that, come over to window and go to character, and now you should have this little character toolbar, and make sure your text is highlighted, and this little thing here is the big T and the arrows left and right. This controls your text spacing basically. So the smaller you make it, the smaller your text is. I'm going to keep mine at, I think it was 130. I'm going to keep mine at that because that's quite a nice spacing for me. Yeah, so I'm going to click back on my layer, and I'm going to go to, actually, the best way to do this is right click on your layer and click rasterize type. And yes, I'm using Photoshop CS5, and there is 6, but I prefer 5 because I've used it for a while. And what you want to do is use the marquee tool. This is the marquee tool. It can be quite annoying, but I love it. Basically what you do is you select your letter that you want to move. Once you've rasterized it, each letter becomes editable for you to move, and what you can do is basically move it, and to make sure it don't go out of line you can hold shift. But the reason it hasn't moved the letter is because I haven't got the tool selected. Right, see, as you see there, if you hold shift, it doesn't move, it just goes side to side. Okay, it did move. Right. I'm gonna hold shift. Now it moves left and right. Right, so I'm just gonna make that go into the K and sort of merge it, but I don't want it to overlap, and it sort of has. So I'm gonna click back on my marquee tool and zoom in. Remember guys, zooming in is one of the best things you can have because it lets you get right down into pixels on Photoshop. And I'm going to get rid of that bit there, and you just highlight it with the marquee tool and press delete like that. And I think I'll get rid of about to there, because that looks pretty horrible, to be fair. Actually no, let's keep that bit and let's get rid of this bottom bit here. I'm going to get rid of that through the whole thing. So as you can see, we're going along. It may take a while because I'm really zoomed in now. And we're going to make them all the same height, or from the bottom anyway. And that's the N, and that's the E, and that's it. So basically when you got that selected, you just highlight it like that and press delete. And now to get back to the regular size, you press Control 0 like that, and that gets you straight back. Or to zoom in and out is Control minus and plus. I'm sure loads of people know that are watching, if anyone's watching this video. Right, next thing you want to do is get the next letter and select the arrow up there, and I'm going to move mine into my A like that. And again, we got another little overhanging bitch, so we're going to have to get him. Unless you like it like that, you can always keep it. I never really like them, so I'm not going to keep them. Make sure it's lined up nicely, and you don't want any like cuts where they overhang. And that's looking pretty good, I think. And you can see up here, let me just, as you can see, we're a little bit taller. The A is a tiny bit taller than the N. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that and make them the same height, which would be by doing that. So now you can see that they look similar. It still looks a bit taller actually, and that's because you can see that little pixelated grey line. That's basically where the black meets the white, and it makes it go a little bit weird. So let's get rid of that. Let's chop the top off. Let's go this way actually. Let's do it for all of them. Make sure they're all the same height, because you don't want any letters that are taller than others really, apart from the first one. It may look a bit better, but yeah, you want them all to be roughly the same height. They'll look much nicer and clean and sharp. So let's just go. Let's keep going. And we've gone off the page. Oh my god, what am I doing with my life? Right. You know what? I'm going to zoom out because it takes ages zoomed in. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to chop the top off. Like that. Now that looks pretty decent, to be fair. So I'm going to add my last letter, which is the E. Sorry for that bit of choky commentary there. Hold shift and move it onto my letter in. My word, sorry. And I'm going to move that on and just get rid of that marquee. And as you can see, we got a pretty nice looking text here. And we haven't got loads of layers either. So it's just one layer. It's an editable layer as well. And I think it's looking pretty nice, to be honest. And again, I'm using Transformers text, and it looks good. And right, the next thing we're going to do is add a wavy line. So what you want to do is, oh, didn't mean to click that. Click the marquee tool. If you've got a marquee thing still there, just click on it and click deselect. That's a right click. And on this layer, what we're going to want to do is use the pen tool. If none of you know how to use the pen tool, I'm going to show you right now. And basically what you do is you click one point like that, and then you click another point like that, and then while you've clicked the second point, you hold your left mouse still down, and it gives you like a wavy line. It looks pretty professional and it gives off a good effect. So I'm gonna just mess about with this for a second, see if I can get a good curve on it. That looks pretty nice. But before you do the next part, click on your brush and make sure your size is set to between 4 and 6, but I like to use 4, so I like 4 there. And that's pretty much it. So what you're going to want to do now is go to paths, which is up here. You got layers, channels and paths. You click paths, right click on work path and stroke path, and then you want to make sure there's a drop down. It's normally on pencil, but click brush and click simulate pressure. Make sure that box is checked and click OK. So now it should give you a line, and now you can delete the path, delete path, and it's not worked. And the reason it hasn't worked is because it's in black. So what you want to do is, there we go, outer glow, and then you can basically choose whatever you want. I'm going to choose a blue. I like blue. And then click the arrow tool up here, and you can move that to wherever you want, and it looks pretty decent. I'm going to move it to there and make a new layer. And the next thing you want to do, and obviously that don't look very good when it's just like on top, it's just sitting there on top. So you select the brush tool, and you want to make them a bit bigger this time, probably about 30 pixels. 30 is good, yeah. And make it so it's the same color as your text. And if your text is a funny color, you can click the like eyedrop tool, I think it's called, and just do that, and it grabs your color. And then select your brush again. But I'm going to zoom in and get rid of the overhanging parts, so there. And I want it overhanging there because I think it looks decent. It looks like it's like sort of coming out the A and flicking off, but I don't like the black in it, so I'm going to go color overlay. I don't want red. I'm going to go for another different blue, so there's like a contrast of blues in there. And as you can see, it's sort of flicking out of the A and going into like the A and the N and the E, and I want it coming off this way as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make another layer. So I'm on layer 3 now, and go select your pen tool again. Where is it? There. And what you want to do is make another line like that, and you're going to want to make it so it sort of comes up like this, goes out like that. So yeah, so basically it's like a wavy line, like it looks like all one line. Make your brush tool again into 6 or 4. Make sure it's the same as the previous line, or it's just going to look a bit weird. Okay, so we done that, and then go back to paths, work path, stroke path again, the same way as we did it last time. Simulate pressure, delete the path, delete path, and then again double click on the layer, color overlay. Oh, color overlay, click the color, go for a blue, nice blue, and then outer glow, and then obviously another blue. As you can see, the outer glow really gives it a nice effect on the like the blue, makes it look really nice, I think. And you're gonna want to make it so it sort of joins up like that. Excuse me. And that, as you can see, that looks pretty decent. But again, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of some of this overhanging part by making a new layer and clicking the brush, right there. Make this a little bit bigger, about 16 will do. Make it white and start getting rid of it. Only get rid of the parts that you don't want. I don't want anything on the K really. be careful when you go to the edges. I haven't really, because I'm rushing this because the time is getting on a bit now. But like that, and as you can see, you can do it the whole way through, and you can really make something a bit cool. Like, it looks pretty decent. Or you could even just do one like going under. It's really up to you. And to finish this one off, I'm just going to go with a nice line here, make it into like, I don't know, maybe 2 pixels. That's all the weight up there. And I'm going to make it a red line, or we can make it yellow. Make it yellow, looks nice. And what you want to do is hold it, press shift, and drag it out to about the same length the other side, and just let go. Then make a new layer to click off it, and then reposition it to a place where you want it. And that's basically it. And remember guys, if you like the tutorial and you want to make one of your own and you're not sure how to do it and you want to add different stuff, then remember, messages are always there. I'm always going to reply to you. Another thing, if you've got any requests or questions, feel free to message me again or leave your feedback in the comments. I know I choked a bit, this is my first tutorial and appreciate the kindness. Yeah, so don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. It may be a Photoshop, it may be a Sony Vegas, you never know. Yeah guys.